What is going on, beautiful people? I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Today we're going to be talking about the top 5 suburbs in the Denver metro area. And hey, if this is your first time to the channel and you're learning to look a little bit more about the Denver area, the good, the bad, the ugly, all that stuff, make sure and hit the subscribe button down below, hit the bell icon for notifications. That way, anytime I come out with a new video, you can be notified and be the first to learn about the Denver market. If you don't already know, my name is Michael, and I get people reaching out all the time, whether they're looking to move in a week, 10 weeks, 2 years, whatever it might be, just looking for a little bit of help getting to Denver. Maybe they have some questions that I might not answer in these videos. So if that's you, you're looking to reach out, my contact information is below. You can reach me by email, call, text, whatever's best for you. More than happy to help you in whatever way you can. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. All right, now before we start this video, I just want to preface a little bit. Now this list is more of my personal opinion and just what I think people that are moving to Colorado would really like about Colorado. You know, you have the stereotypical Colorado in mind. So somebody that's looking for all the stereotypical stuff coming to Colorado, I think these are the places that would be most attractive to them. So this isn't to say if your city isn't in this list that it's not a great city. It's just what I think people would really like about Colorado in these few cities. So if your city that you live in right now or that you like to go isn't in the list, make a comment down below, tell me why, and love to hear your thoughts. All right, starting off with number 5, we have Centennial, Colorado. And I have a little bit of bias because this is actually where I currently live, but let's just take a look real quick of where it's at. So you look at Denver, here you go. You got nice big Denver right here. You have Centennial all the way down here. It's kind of on the south side of Denver. And you kind of look, I mean, it kind of looks like a little pirate hook there. So I will say, whoever decided on where Centennial was, I'm guessing they probably were participating in some of the Colorado delights that we have here. But it looks like a pirate hook, I'd say. So if we ever decide on, you know, cities and towns getting mascots, then I vote that we get the pirates for that very reason. We just won't tell anybody why. That'll just be the mascot, and then we'll let people figure it out. So Centennial is actually one of the newest suburbs in Denver. It's actually one of the fastest growing as well. Centennial is widely known for its open spaces, its parks, its trails, and it's just got a lot of everything throughout Centennial. It's kind of a weird shape. It kind of looks like a pirate's hook on a map, actually. When you look at a map, it just says Centennial, but if you actually look at the boundaries, it looks like this weird hook thing. And all the way throughout Centennial, you're gonna be able to find a park close by or just some trail to go ride your bike on. So something that people like when they come to Colorado is just being in the outdoors, and you're right there. Centennial is also kind of on the south side of the Denver area, so it's close to a lot of things. It's really close to I-25 going north and south, and you have Arapahoe Road going right through, so it's really easy to get to places. You know, you also have Parker Road. So I mean, it's just wherever you're in Centennial, you have accessibility to pretty much the majority of Denver. It's really easy to get where you're going. So especially if you're trying to head up to the mountains over the weekend, you know, you just hop on whatever you need to get there, and it's relatively easy to get there. It's not as difficult as if you're living kind of like in the northeast of Denver, where you have to kind of go through the entire city. You just kind of hop through and slice right through. The other nice thing about Centennial is it's very nice and developed, because even though it was just created in the early 2000s, because it used to be a lot of older places that they just kind of all took together and combined, everything's mature. So you're gonna have mature landscaping, lots of mature big trees. So everything that you think about Colorado, you're gonna have in Centennial. All right, and at number 4, we have Golden, Colorado. Now, here is Denver, and here is where Golden is. So little tiny spot, you know, nice tiny little town. It's a little bit busy. You can see it's got quite a few things going on. North Table Mountain, right up here. Probably one of the best places to hike in the Denver area. Nice thing about North Table is, let me just circle it again. You get right along this ridge, I mean, you can see all of Denver, and it is beautiful. So there you are. I mean, you're right up next to the mountains. One of the best things about Golden, Colorado, you're right there. So you're going skiing, you're planning on hiking a lot, there you go. All right, so the best thing about Golden, Colorado is you're practically on the side of the mountains. So if you're someone that wants to go to the mountains and you know you're moving to Colorado because you want to go to the mountains a lot, you're planning on skiing, hiking, all that stuff, then Golden would be a great spot for you. You also have that small town feel. Golden's a lot smaller than some of the other suburbs throughout Denver. So if you're looking for something that's a little bit more community focused and you don't feel so congested, then that just makes Golden a great place for you. But that's another bonus is even though it's a small town, you're so close to Denver and some of the surrounding areas that if you're trying to go do something that has a little bit more excitement to it, Denver's right there. If you're going to sporting events, all that stuff, parties, parades, any of that nature, you're right there. You're not far. You don't have to go very far. So if you're not planning on doing that every other night and you're just planning on doing that every once in a while, you're right there. It's pretty easy to get there. Or even if you're just commuting for work, maybe you work downtown or maybe you work in the tech center, you're not too far. It's still possible to kind of commute to that place. I'd say it's probably a little bit far if you're trying to commute every single day. But if you only have to go in the office a couple times a week, or maybe you can just zoom in for the most part, then I'd say it's a great place to set up camp and just work virtually. There's also plenty of community events within Golden, Colorado. I mean, they do things year round. I actually just saw one of my friends, they had like a golden retriever day where everybody that has golden retrievers all got together, and it was funny because the weather was actually terrible. I think it was snowing, and there must have been 1,000 golden retrievers there with their owners, and it looked like a blast. They all took like a big group picture. It probably wasn't 1,000. It was probably close to like 200 or 300, but there was just nothing but dogs there, and they do stuff like that all the time. So if you're looking to get involved in some sort of community events and just get active, then Golden would be a great place for you. You're also really close to North Table Mountain, which is arguably some of the best hiking in Denver, especially if you're trying to get like an overlook of the downtown, like downtown Denver and the skyline. Probably one of the best places to go for that hike. And I mean, if you don't like that hike, I mean, you have hikes in your backyard basically. You don't have to drive very far. So anything mountain related, you're not far. You're right there. You pretty much skip 90% of the traffic that you would as if you were living within a little bit further in Denver, just because you're missing pretty much all that city traffic that you miss. So if you're planning on doing a lot of stuff in the mountains, Golden would be a great place to set up camp because you're right there and you have a head start on everybody else. All right, and at number 3, we have Greenwood Village, Colorado. Greenwood Village, located kind of on the south side of Denver, kind of looks southeast really of Denver, but because Denver kind of feels like it's all on a line with I-25. When you're here, I-25 feels straight up and down, straight north and south. You'd think that's I-25 right there, but it's not. So pretty much you just go straight down from Denver, you're in Greenwood Village. There you are. Nice thing about Greenwood Village, you have the Denver Tech Center right there. You have Cherry Creek State Park, Cherry Creek Reservoir. You're not too far from downtown Denver. And if you need to go south, right there, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So one of the best parts about Greenwood Village is you're right there with Denver Tech Center. Denver Tech Center, if you don't already know, is just a huge business hub in kind of South Denver. There's lots of jobs, lots of major companies that have their offices there. And along with that, they have a lot of things that appeal to big business downtown areas, such as restaurants. And you usually have a lot of higher end dining because, people got to take their, clients to these big fancy restaurants to impress them. If you're looking for a place, Shanahan's Steakhouse is amazing. They have really good steaks. And then Ocean Prime is also a really good one if you like seafood, just to name a couple. But I mean, they have plenty of restaurants that, ranging from really nice to, nice lunches. So plenty of options for you. And for the most part, a lot of them are within walking distance with a lot of these companies. So, you can just kind of get out of work, take a nice walk, enjoy some of the Colorado air that we have here, and go get yourself a nice lunch. Another nice thing about Greenwood Village is you're very close to the mountains. You're practically like maybe 20-25 minutes away, depending on the traffic. But if you're someone that, plans to go up to the mountains a lot, maybe it's not every single weekend, but you want to go occasionally and you don't want to be held back by some of the traffic, then you're right there. It might be 20 minutes, 25 minutes to get into the mountains, but that's not too bad, especially if you're comparing it to some of the eastern areas throughout Denver. 20-25 minutes to get to the mountains is not bad at all. Another perk of Greenwood Village, to tackle on that, is you're pretty much right on I-25. So even if you're not going to the mountains, but you're trying to go north, you're trying to get to downtown Denver, or maybe you're headed up to Boulder or Fort Collins, or if you're trying to get all the way down south, maybe Castle Rock or Colorado Springs, you're right on I-25. So you just hop on there and you get going. For the most part, even during some of the rush hours, I-25 still goes pretty quickly. I will say between the Denver Tech Center and downtown Denver, maybe a little like 2 or 3 miles north of downtown Denver, that entire area gets a little bit congested during the day, during rush hour. But apart from that, it's not bad, and you can usually fly up. There's rarely that bumper to bumper traffic that we used to see a while back, but for the most part, if you're trying to get north or south, it's really easy because you're right there. On top of that, Greenwood Village is very well maintained. I mean, they do an excellent job keeping everything really clean and just making sure the landscaping's really nice looking. It's just one of those areas that's just really well taken care of, and I think it's mostly due to the Denver Tech Center, and the businesses are just trying to make everything look clean, so I think everyone just kind of helps out a little bit and just makes it look really nice. And the last thing I'll touch on is that there are still single family homes within Greenwood Village that are relatively affordable. It is one of the higher priced cities within Colorado itself, but there are still single family homes that are relatively affordable compared to some of the other areas in Denver. So if you're looking for, that city living, but you still want a single family home with a nice yard, Greenwood Village might be a great place to look, especially if you're working around the Denver Tech Center. And coming in at number 2, we have Littleton, Colorado. Now, Littleton is kind of actually southwest side of Denver, kind of feels a little bit like that. You got Littleton right here, you got downtown Littleton kind of in this area, and you got all sorts of fun stuff going on up in here. Now, you're not too far from Chatfield, not too far from the mountains, right there, not too far from the Denver Tech Center. I mean, location-wise, you're solid. And this is all just really old, and it's been there for a long time. All right, so Littleton, Colorado is probably one of the most generic Colorado spots within the Denver metro area. I mean, everything that is in Littleton just kind of screams Colorado. Now, I'd start downtown with the historic downtown Littleton, where there's tons of restaurants, boutique shops, all that stuff. I mean, you could spend a whole day and a half there just walking up and down, just checking it out. Plenty of food places to try out, plenty of breweries to keep you busy for a little while. And it's just a really nice location that you just think of. I mean, it almost feels like a mini mountain town in Littleton. It's kind of cool. You're also really close to the mountains, so pretty much wherever you are within Littleton, you're gonna have somewhat of a mountain view. Now, depending on where you are with the hills, you might not see the mountains out of every window, but for the most part, if you're just driving through Littleton, you're gonna have a really nice shot of the mountains, and you're pretty much right on the mountains. So it's not like you see the mountains in the distance, they're like right there. You have a pretty nice view of them, and you can pretty much see like the pine trees on the mountains over there. So the views throughout Littleton are just amazing to begin with. On top of that, Littleton itself, it's a much older community, so everything's really mature. I mean, you have 100-plus-year-old trees, which just adds so much to the area, so much character to the homes over there. And with that, I mean, the homes over in Littleton are also very old, so a lot of these homes are built in the early 1900s, so they also have a lot of character. So just add that all in, and I mean, you just have your classic Colorado feel, and you just feel right at home in Colorado. Also, regardless of where you are in Littleton, there's so many things to do nearby. So, I mean, just south you have Roxborough State Park, so plenty of hiking, so many trails that you can kind of just go spend quite a bit of time on, take your dog out for a nice hike, all that stuff, just spend some time in the crisp Colorado air and just really enjoy yourself. You also have Chatfield Reservoir, just kind of southeast of the majority of Littleton, south for some of it. But I mean, you can go boating, skiing, jet skiing, all that stuff. You can walk around. They have a dedicated dog park for like off-leash area. It's amazing. You can spend so much time at Chatfield. I actually usually recommend people when they get to Colorado to just get the state parks pass. That one, you can go to any of the state parks in the mountains. You can go to Cherry Creek Reservoir, all that stuff. You can spend so much time there, and it's well worth the money. I think the pass is like $100, $120. You get a lot for just a little bit of money. Highly recommend getting it, and gets you outside, just so much to do. And the last thing I'll say about Littleton in general is because you're right next to the mountains, it's so easy to get up there and go skiing, snowboarding, hiking, mountain biking, rock climbing, you name it, you can get up there and do it. Probably in one of the easiest locations to access the mountains. Maybe not with Golden. You might be a runner-up to Golden, but you're right there. So if you're planning on going to the mountains, or you want to go to the mountains a lot and that's like your goal, Littleton is a great area. It's definitely, there's also definitely some affordable areas, and you can get like a really nice home, especially in a nice area for relatively cheap, maybe mid to low 500s, maybe a little bit more depending on the area and the size of the home. But for the most part, great area, and highly recommend checking it out. And coming in at number 1 is Lone Tree, Colorado. Now, here we go, here's Denver. Lone Tree is on the very south side of the Denver area. Very small little spot, but great location. You have Denver Tech Center right up in here. With I-25 going north and south, so you can just hop on pretty easily. This is pretty much the most developed spot. This is kind of where all the newer stuff that they're expanding is going. But for the most part, I mean, it's all really nice. They've done a really good job over here, and they're gonna do a really good job over here. I can almost guarantee it. So another nice thing, you have the bluffs right there, which is just, I mean, some of the best hiking in all of Denver. Highly recommend going there, even if you're stopping through. Anybody can go there. You got the Park Meadows Mall. You also have IKEA, so if you're really into IKEA, you want to just go walk through, get some Swedish meatballs, there you go. So like Greenwood Village, Lone Tree is also really close to the DTC area, so just one of the big perks of living in Lone Tree. So I'm not going to repeat all of it, but I mean, you're really close to, you know, all those jobs, so a lot of people might be working down there, all those restaurants, the higher end, the medium restaurants, the lower end, the fast food, all that stuff. It has everything right there. Just one of the nice perks about being close to the DTC area. On top of that, Lone Tree itself has pretty much everything you need in Lone Tree. So even if you want to go out to eat, you don't even have to go all the way to the DTC area. You can just kind of stay in Lone Tree. They have the largest enclosed shopping center in all of Colorado, the Park Meadows Mall, and I mean, they have everything there. You could spend so much time there and, you know, just walk around, spend a day just walking around and enjoy yourself. Go window shopping, I don't know. But, you know, you have so many food options. You could probably find pretty much any food that you're looking for in that area and, you know, just go nuts. Plenty of options. You also have healthcare facilities, shopping, your groceries, all that stuff, all in Lone Tree. So you don't have to go anywhere if you don't really want to. The only thing you'd really have to get out of Lone Tree for is if you're going to events, maybe sporting games or stuff like that. Lone Tree's also expanding eastward now a little bit. So, you know, they're opening up a whole new community area and plans look amazing. So I can only expect from what they already have, they're just going to continue to grow how great of an area that is. Another great thing about Lone Tree is you're right on I-25. So kind of like Greenwood Village, again, if you need to go north or south anywhere, down to Castle Rock, the Springs, up north to Boulder or Fort Collins, you're right there. So it's easy to hop on, get up and go. Or if you're commuting to the Denver Tech Center, right there. Easy peasy, there you go. Lone Tree itself is also a very affluent area, so the homes, you know, a little bit more expensive than some of the rest of Denver. So homes look amazing. They take a really good care of the landscaping throughout Lone Tree. And on top of that, I mean, you, for the most part, have mountain views. So on top of the beautiful homes, you also have beautiful mountain views. So just the whole area is just amazing to look at. So even if you're just driving through, I highly recommend just, you know, going through the car, enjoying yourself a little bit, roll down the windows, take it all in, and just, it's amazing. All right, and for the best part about Lone Tree, it's gotta be the bluffs that they have just south of Lone Tree. Now, it's this nice little trail system that I have back there, but it kind of overlooks all of Denver. And I mean, the trails are amazing. You get up there, you can see everything, you can go see the mountains. And it's just really nice to have something like that in your backyard, basically. It's really easy to hop out there, you know, take your dog, take your family, whatever, you know, go hike up. It's a nice little hike, good exercise, get yourself outdoors. And on top of that, you know, you have the fresh air, beautiful views, and you can just take it all in. And I think that's just really what makes Lone Tree one of the best suburbs in the Denver area. All right, everybody, well, that wraps up my video on the top 5 suburbs. Hope you liked it. Maybe you disagree with some of them. If you do, and I, you know, left out some place that's better than some of the other places, let me know down in the comments and why. Be more than happy to hear your opinion on these places. But regardless, I hope you maybe learned a little bit something about the Denver area. And yeah, if you did, make sure and like the video. And also don't forget, if you are planning on moving out here and you have some more questions that maybe I didn't answer in this video, or you just like a little bit of help getting to Denver, my contact information is below, so don't hesitate to reach out. I'd be more than happy to help. But until next time, I will see you guys in the next video.